Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Yecca, where we cover culture, conspiracy, and Christ consciousness. Today, I am a little bit late. Was getting the show set up in a different kitchen. And so, let's see, I'm going to go live here on Rockfin. And today, I'm going to be doing a cooking show talking about meat, obviously, and the importance of why I think everybody should be eating more of it every day. And I'm going to do a Meatza recipe. If you haven't ever heard of a Meatza, so basically it's a pizza made with meat crust. And today I'm going to use ground beef, and it's so super easy. I wanted to share this with y'all today because it's just a really easy way to make meat the big basis of your meal. And it's a really good alternative, an easy way to substitute bread for more meat and protein. Yeah, so I am going to switch over here to the cooking camera. And I have some ground beef here, some eggs, and I'm sorry, some cheese, some organic marinara, garlic, and some seasonings. Let's see here. So it's going to be really easy, and I'm going to do it an even easier step and mix everything in the pan that we're going to be cooking with. So first thing you'll want to do is actually preheat the oven to 400. And you're going to get your meat. I have some grass-fed ground beef that I found here, and we're just going to make a little small meatza. And the cool thing about this is that you can still put whatever favorite pizza toppings you have and you like. So today I'm just going to do a basic cheese pizza. And then, like I said, you guys can make this like a supreme pizza, barbecue pizza, meat lovers pizza, and put more meat on top. If you are trying to be more strict carnivore, you won't want to do the marinara, but you can find homemade Alfredo sauce recipes. That would be carnivore. It's basically just cream, Parmesan, salt, pepper, and garlic to make that. So super easy. And I have the 8515 ground beef. Actually, I need to get an egg. Let me check real quick. Just kidding, y'all. You don't need an egg. That's the cool thing about this. That's the cool thing about this recipe is that it's very flexible, super forgiving. So you just want to use whatever seasonings you like. You can use Italian seasonings. I like to always add more garlic. I like to season the meat up more, kind of like pizza. Usually, especially when you buy marinara at the store, it doesn't have much flavor. So I like to include that flavor in to the meat part. And some recipes you'll see where they'll mix cheese in with the meat, but I don't really like to do that because I want to put more cheese on top, and I'm not trying to eat 5 pounds of cheese. I mean, I would like to, but I don't think I probably should do that. So you'll just want to mix the meat up. And the other cool thing about this is that you can use any kind of meat. So if you have bison or turkey or chicken, even if it's not ground up, if you have a food processor, you can just cut it up and then process it in the food processor, and it'll grind it all up. And my favorite, it depends on like what kind of toppings I'm using, but I like to do the ground beef. If I'm doing like serving it to other people or want to have like just a more classic pizza flavor, I'll use ground chicken because it's just doesn't have much flavor and it's really easy, and it looks more like the bread. So when I'm introducing Meatza to friends, usually I'll do the ground chicken just because it's a little more recognizable. And but I like the ground beef just because beef is nutrient dense, especially when you're getting it grass fed, grass finished. Speaking of that, I actually want to talk a little bit about the grass fed labeling on meats because I know I've gotten some slack in the comments before of people saying that the grass fed labeling in the stores is bogus and a lie or whatever. So I kind of want to just share with y'all the facts about the grass-fed labeling for the meats that you get in the store. And it is unfortunate, but I would still rather buy this than the conventional meat. And so the secret with the grass-fed labeling on grass-fed beef in the grocery store is that the cows can be fed hay their entire life and still be labeled grass fed because guess what? Hay is grass. It's just dried up. So cows can be living on dry hay all their lives and still be labeled grass fed ground beef or whatever kind of beef it is. So that is the unfortunate news. I would still rather have meat cow that ate dried grass its whole life versus one force-fed GMO pesticide-laden corn its whole life. So that's why I think it's better still to get the grass-fed beef label. I've also had a lot of ranchers coming onto my comments saying how all cows are grass-fed, but I know that that's a lie because I've actually driven by the confined animal feedlots and there's no grass there whatsoever. So I think, most ranchers do have cows that eat grass and are on pastures, but confined animal feedlots are a real thing and you can look them up and look into it. So yeah, as you see, I'm just pressing this in. Normally I do this on a sheet pan, but we're going to do a deep dish style today.
It's my fault. There's a cooking show going on in my kitchen, and I was not prepared. Apparently, I don't even have
I wasn't prepared.
I don't have cooking sheets or an egg. This is terrible. This is all my fault, ladies.
So it's okay, you guys, because it's still going to be delicious. And look, now we can put a crust on it. So whenever you do these, if you are putting it on a sheet pan and you don't want it super thick, press it out thinner than you actually want it because when it bakes, it like shrinks up a little bit and it'll make it thicker. So if you want it really thin, press it out thinner than you would like. You can even like put a parchment paper over it and like press it out with your hands or rolling pin or whatever. And so yeah, you'll bake the crust first. So it's like a real pizza. You bake the crust part first, and then you'll put the toppings on, and then you'll bake that to melt the cheese. So I'm going to somehow wash my hands. Give me 1 second, guys. I don't know if I can reach with my...
Right.
Yes, thank you. I can reach. Can I have some more soap?
Sure.
Thanks. Okay. Thank you.
I don't have cooking sheets, eggs. I do have a Chihuahua. That is.
Yes, there is a Chihuahua here, you guys. We'll get to see her in a minute. She's kind of famous, and we're going to make her even more famous. So this is going in the oven. You can't see it, but I promise it's happening.
I'll just turn a little bit. I was trying to be your cameraman. There's
Let's see. So here's the oven. You put it in like that if you don't know how. And then I'm going to set the timer. Let's see. Got this fancy tripod here. So we're going to set the timer for 10 minutes because I didn't heat it up all the way. So usually it takes about 8 to 10 minutes. And let's see here. I'm going to switch you guys. stage, but there we go. I think that'll probably be working. If somebody in the comments can let me know that you guys can hear me, because I am not sure. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Can you check it? Okay, thanks. Oh, okay, cool. All right. So sorry about that. I was talking about, supporting local ranchers. Obviously, supporting a local rancher is going to be your best bet for getting meat. I've been trying to reach out to my local rancher. I actually haven't heard back from him, so hopefully everything is okay, because I miss eating real beef. It's just so much better when you know where your food is coming from. I used to work at this farmer's market. If you're in the Austin area, it is the Lone Star Farmers Market. Richie is the owner over there. I've worked with him for a little while, and his farmers market slogan, it's my favorite. It's "Don't buy your food from strangers," and it's so true. I posted an article this morning about Costco recalling some cheese because they found microplastics in there. And I honestly, I think that's kind of unavoidable, because all the cheese you buy in the store is wrapped in plastic and it's like vacuum sealed, so it's like sucking in all the plastic. So I don't know how that's avoidable with while you're still using plastic for the packaging. Um, but yeah, so it's very important to know where your food comes from, and going to visit the ranches is so much fun. And you get to see how the cows live and make sure that ask the questions that you want to ask, and get to meet the people that are raising the food that you're eating. And yeah, so but if you can't afford it, don't be scared to eat the conventional meat. People give me so much slack in the comments on my page when I talk about how grass-fed beef is the best beef you can get. I understand a lot of people don't like the way it tastes. I've had grass-fed beef from so many different ranchers, I couldn't even count them. They all taste different. All the grass-fed, grass-finished beef tastes different. It depends on the cow. It depends on the grasses it's eating. It depends on its environment. It depends on so many different things. Even like the weather can affect how the meat tastes. And so if there is one that you don't like, try to find another one and see if you like it, because they all taste different. I've had some that were absolutely disgusting, and I paid way more money for it too. And I don't know why I don't know why people were paying for that, because it was so gross, and it was grass fed, grass finished, and I'm all about that. But people give me so much slack all the time in the comments about it, because they think I'm scaring people away from buying meat. And so I just want to make it known here that I still want everybody to eat meat, even if it's conventional beef that you get at the grocery store, even if it's the beef that was raised on confined animal feedlots, even if it was the beef that was fed candy and candy wrappers. I would still rather you eat that than go get a tofu burger. I would still rather you eat the conventional meat than get a veggie patty or anything like that. The meat, even at the lowest quality, quote unquote, it's still one of the most nutrient dense foods that you can eat. So I just want to emphasize that no matter what quality meat you can afford, just get that. Just make sure it's beef, and make sure it's 100% beef too, because I've noticed, like, more particularly in stores like the dollar store and Walmart and things like that, a lot of the meats will be cut with soy protein. So be sure you look at the ingredients, even if you think it's just beef. Definitely turn that package around and read the label, because I've seen it. I've seen it more often than you would think, actually. Especially, like I said, like in the dollar stores, they have the frozen and refrigerated section. And I've seen I've seen frozen burger patties, like a big pack, and it was like so cheap. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cheap. I was about to buy it. And thankfully I turned the box around, because the second ingredient was soy protein. And I just like threw that box back in the freezer, because that's garbage. So just make sure you're eating pure 100% beef, whatever quality you want. But if you want to get the best quality is going to be from your local rancher, not my local rancher, not his local rancher, your local rancher. It is important to support your community and the ranchers in your area. So many people, there's this big trend that's growing, grass-fed, supporting local, regenerative agriculture, all that stuff. which is amazing, but you can't make that a nationwide thing. It can only be sustainable. It can only make sense if you keep it local, keep it small, because one rancher is not going to be able to feed the whole country. Even if he's in Texas, even if he has the biggest ranch in Texas, I don't know, he might be able to, but but it just makes more logical sense for the earth, even too, because you don't want to put all your money into one ranch in Texas. You want all the ranches all across the nation to be funded, and you want to support your local rancher, and it's just better for you, better for your community, better for the rancher. And building a relationship with your local ranchers is one of the best things that you can ever do, because especially if you're nice to them and you try to help them out and you try to help giving them other customers and try to help them grow, or however which way you can help them, they will see that and appreciate that, and they will have your back. I have been blessed so many times with the various ranchers that I've worked with, and they're good people. That's the great thing too about knowing your ranchers, is that you get to see what kind of a person they are. And all of them I met are so nice, so genuine, so giving. They care about the animals, they care about the environment, they care about people. And so it's really cool getting to build a relationship with somebody like that. And and it's just so good knowing that you're putting your money back into the community, and you're not paying some of these mega corporations, for who knows what. So that's another reason why I really like to emphasize that supporting local is important, because it just really is. And you want to just support your local ranchers, because they will take care of you, I promise. All right, I'm going to switch back over to the cooking camera. So let me learn how to do that real quick. Where is it? There we go. And this pizza should be done. There. Okay, there we go. So here it is. You can see there is some grease here. I'm going to drain that out. Whenever you cook this with an egg or two, you can actually put like up to 4 eggs in 1 pound of ground beef for Meatza. I've done it before, and it actually kind of makes it a little bit more tender and soft. But as you see, you don't need an egg to hold it together, because it's ground up and it'll just stay together. So when you put an egg in there, it soaks up a lot of that grease, and so you're able to eat it as a higher fat pizza. But yeah, let me drain this. Where can I drain this? And we're back, and the meat is drained. And now we're gonna put the toppings. A spoon?
That's a
Right
great
here?
question.
Or they're in here, right? So we'll get this marinara. This one's organic. The marinara, make sure you turn the label around and look for soybean oil. Make sure there's no soybean oil. This one's made with extra virgin olive oil, which is great. There are a couple questionable ingredients in here, but when you're traveling, I'm not as picky. When I go home, I'll go back to how I was living my life before. So, yes.
I can be useful.
I have a professional jar opener here today. So you can also make your own homemade marinara. It's super easy. Literally just tomatoes, garlic, basil, salt, pepper. And you simmer that. You can do it for 15 to 20 minutes if you want. And then you have delicious homemade marinara. So I'm just going to put this on here. And like I said, it's just like a regular pizza. You'll put the toppings on. You can make this supreme pizza, buffalo pizza, barbecue pizza, whatever kind you want. And this also freezes really well too. So you can make some, have them ready in your freezer, easy meal prep. And so I'm going to put a little bit of cheese on top here. There's other recipes out there for meatza with all different kinds of different crusts. I don't eat pork, but there is a pork rind meatza recipe, or I'm sure there's several out there, but I think it's like pork rinds, eggs, and cheese. And that one does, I've never tried that one, but it does look more like it would be more similar to a regular pizza crust because it has that crunch on the outside and then it's soft on the inside. So if you guys try this and end up not liking it, but you do eat pork, I recommend to look up that pork rind recipe, and that'll be probably closer to regular pizza. So I'm gonna put this here in the oven. Let's see. You guys can come with me. Beans, what do you think, Beans? Looks good? All right, she approves. So we'll put that in there for another 5 minutes. And switcheroo over here. Here we go. Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong way.
Make sure your mic's going.
That's what I'm trying to, wait. There we go. Okay, that's what I did last time.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, guys, we're back. The cheese is melting. And yes, so the meatza, it is super easy to freeze. I actually have thought about just getting like a bunch of those foil pans and I have a deep freezer. I was thinking of just like filling it up with meatzas, or at least like cheese meatzas, and then you can just put whatever kind of toppings you want on there. I have a bad habit of sometimes getting the gluten-free pizzas at the store, which I really shouldn't be eating because a lot of them are made with brown rice flour, which literally causes me pain in my joints. So if you have inflammation, I always like to bring up, if you have inflammation, look into oxalates and foods with oxalates, because for me, oxalates cause me inflammation to the point where it's debilitating sometimes. And I literally struggle walking upstairs or something, or walking straight, because I used to have really bad joint pain before I did carnivore in 2017. I was in my early mid 20s and I literally had debilitating joint pain where if I try to bend over and pick something up, I'd be stuck bent over for like a whole minute, or my left hip would lock and I literally just had to stand there until the inflammation went away. And I had no idea what that was. But I can tell you what I was eating. I was eating tons of spinach. I was eating meat, but only maybe once to twice a week. So I was plant-based. I ate more vegetarian foods than anything. I didn't eat seed oils. I was actually more strict about seed oils when I was plant-based than I am now. So I was super against seed oils, super against cane sugar, super against soy. So I didn't have any of those horrible foods in my diet, but I still had debilitating joint pain, or gluten either. I was super strict about eating no gluten. So I was having this joint pain and I was drinking spinach and kale smoothies, kale chips, vegan protein powders, and all kinds of what I thought were superfoods. Dark chocolate. I'd make these dark chocolate flourless cakes that were amazing. And then I would also eat like 100% chocolate. I didn't even have sweetener in there. If I was eating just chocolate, I would get these 100% chocolate chips. And that's what I ate. They are so bitter. Like if you've never had 100% chocolate, yeah, it's very, very bitter, but I liked it. But yeah, I was eating a lot of foods like that, and I thought that they were good for me. And when I went carnivore, I later on found out about oxalates. Sally Norton, she's a really good advocate about oxalates in your food. So definitely check her out if you've never heard about anything about oxalates or anything like that. It is basically a plant's defense mechanism. And because plants don't want to be eaten. So they don't have oxalates when they're just as is in the ground. they start to produce, there is a chemical reaction when an animal starts chewing it or somebody cuts it or, pulls it from the ground. The plants produce this chemical reaction that creates what's called an oxalate. And so the one example that I always give is the oxalates of a kiwi. And I love kiwis. Like the saddest part is that I love all these foods, but they don't love me and they don't want to be eaten. And so the when you look at a kiwi under a microscope, it is literally like a bunch of needles just like crisscrossing. And when you look at that, it's just like, oh, that makes sense. Like there's needles in my food, basically, like super tiny needles. And and so for me, I've learned over the years that foods higher in oxalates, some of them cause me immediate joint pain, like I mean within minutes. And it is so crazy. Some people are like, oh, it's all in your head, blah, blah, blah. Well, what about when I was like, oh, it's not going to cause me harm if I just eat one bite? And then I eat one bite and it does cause me harm. And so that's how I know that it's not in my head, is because I genuinely was trying to eat this stuff thinking that nothing was going to happen because it's a whole food or it's a natural food or it's organic or whatever. Um, and and so then that's when I started looking more into the oxalates and found out that they can cause inflammation and they can cause all these health issues. And you wouldn't even think it because it's all these superfoods. It's spinach is like the most highest in oxalates. It is insane. And I remember eating some like keto quiche that had like mixed veggies and goat cheese or something. And I remember it had spinach in there. And I ate like the tiniest little piece. It maybe had one leaf or two leaves of spinach in there total on that one slice. And the next morning, I literally had joint pain in my fingers. It was crazy. And I thought it wasn't going to hurt me because I just saw like a couple specks. Maybe that was like half a pound of spinach because it shrinks so much. But I don't know. I thought it wasn't going to hurt me, and it did. So we have the pizza. I heard the timer just go off, so I'm going to flip over here and get this pizza out. Mm-hmm. So here is our Meatza. As you can see, it looks delicious. And yeah, we'll just let that cool, and we'll have some here in a little bit. I'll switch back to this camera, I guess, you guys. And let's put this, nope, how do we do this? There we go. Okay. So Meatza is such a good meal. I think for everybody, like the kids like it. And it's also an easy way to hide organ meats in there too. I know people try to incorporate more organs nowadays because of the health benefits. And so this is a really good, easy way to do it. I will give you some tips on that. If you're doing liver, if you're wanting to just add liver, do not put a pound of liver with a pound of ground beef because that is way too much. Honestly, I like about 10% liver in the ground beef. I don't like it in the ground beef really because I like the way ground beef tastes and I like the way liver tastes when I prepare it. Like if it's overcooked, it has a really strong irony taste. And so that tends to happen when you mix it in with the burger meat. So I don't really like mixing it in there, but with the Meatza, it's super hidden because it has the sauce and the cheese and all the toppings. So if you're going to do it, I prefer it in with the Meatzas. But the liver, I really like it by itself or cooked with a lot of butter and onions. Or I have a pate recipe that I know I've shared in the past that is super yummy. And another thing too with pate, I like to, I've had it refrigerated and then I refried it like beans one time. And it literally tasted like refried beans. I was almost crying because I couldn't remember the last time I had beans. And it was just like, reminded me of my abuelita. And it was just so good. So, and I think it's because of the iron in the liver. So it has like a high, has that kind of that iron taste that beans do. So, but yeah, liver is easy to hide in the Meatza. I know some people do like a liver bacon, liver bacon ground beef mixture. If you do that, I recommend to cook the bacon first, because the bacon usually doesn't cook all the way through. If you do it like that, unless you have it like super ground up really fine. But yeah, but that is a really good way to do it too. And if you ever do any smoothies too, you can get like liver pills, and you can blend those in with your food or drinks, smoothies, whatever. So those are really good ways to incorporate organ meats. But yeah, I am going to finish up here. I see nobody was in the comments. I don't know why. Maybe here on Rockfin. Let's see. Okay, cool. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I want to give a shout out to my sponsor, Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. If you guys haven't checked out my link, you can see below here. It is Yecca.gold. Also, I wanted to get beans. Yes, my sponsor here, Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. Thank you.
My fault. She has this very backward, non-advanced kitchen. This is my fault. As I had her come all the way up from her home, 4 hours away, and stay up here and help me with taxes and compliance and all the and orders, and we are just not prepared for the cooking show. I'm glad we're doing it though.
We did it. I
Because
think we're prepared enough. And
I like Meatza.
yeah, the Meatza, it's going to be good. And, you know, I was able to show y'all that you don't need a bowl to make it. You can just mix it up in the pan that you're going to have it in.
You don't need an egg.
And you don't need an egg. So the simplest, easy way to make Meatza, like I said, it's super forgiving, super flexible. You can make it with or without an egg, and whatever kind of meat you want, whatever kind of toppings you want.
It smells really good.
You want to have Beans try some for the camera?
Yeah, that'd be good.
We can have our little taste tester here.
Can we get a taste tester? Can we use the spoon
Sure.
here? Just take off a piece.
Yeah.
Make sure it's not too hot.
Mm-hmm.
That's about right.
If I can.
You think, Bean?
That's good? Oh yeah, she's looking at it for more. She's looking. Her eyes went right back to the Meatza. So the Meatza is Beans approved. Dogs love it, and
You wrapped it. I got it.
There we go.
I got it.
Okay. Thanks again, you guys, for coming on. Make sure to check out my link, Yecca.gold here. If you guys want to support the show, it really means a lot to me when you use my link. And I have other really cool affiliate links as well in the description. If you check them out, if you use any of those links, it really helps me out. So, and all those products I fully stand behind. I don't really like to just support any kind of products for money. So the products that I do have on there, I fully back and stand behind, and you can ask me any questions if you have on those products. But thanks again, you guys. I will be here next Tuesday, and I hope y'all have a blessed week.